I know you were supposed to go next, but then he yielded because I still have to go back to Abeokuta today. And I'm really excited to be. I want to start with a very serious note and then try to bring it back to this topic. One of the major reasons why I came here was like, I'm not supposed to be here today. Like you notice some hesitance when we were trying to meet. It's because this period for me has been super hectic. Took some projects that I didn't know would be this hectic, and I had to combine everything together. But one of the major reasons why I took this and I felt like it was very important for me to come down here was because you rarely find a gathering of men for some reason. Women, it comes natural to them to gather. Some of them even follow themselves to the bathroom. That thing bugs me. I don't know if it does. It bugs me. Like, what are you going there to do? I've asked them many, many times, but why must you go with somebody to the toilet? I don't understand. But they have that sense of, community, just natural to them. For men, you can be a friend to a guy who is going through a lot and he will never mention anything. Then my guy, everything there, right? But the guy is going through a lot, right? And just really painful. And sometimes, your guy can actually have the solution, but because you don't open up, sometimes it's a lot. And so for me, when he said, specifically for men, but I must be here. And one of the major reasons why I'm here is just to, I'm more than I'm even here to speak, I'm also here to also learn. And so when Coach Boy was talking, I was just smiling because, a lot of things that we all go through, this generation, for example, is turning against men. I don't know if you guys noticed. It's there's a real attack on the male gender, and it's a very interesting time and season. And I've said, and you still see it in my slide. I've mentioned it every time where I go, especially when I talk to ladies, right? There is this a lot of women movement, and it's good. We're happy for them. In fact, I don't say any beef. I have absolutely no beef. But the interesting thing about all this stuff is that if you continue investing in women and you neglect the men, right? 10 times 0 is what? That because you still marry a man. And if the man is an empty brain man, does not have a high self-esteem, every single thing that you've amassed as a woman still goes down to 0. And you cannot do, just the way we cannot do society, we can't do community without women, you cannot also not do that without men. You can't relegate men and think that then you'd have a great society. Is it what I'm going to say? And so I think that right now, the male gender is at risk. It's seriously at risk. I've spoken with a lot of my female friends, and we're talking about, lady Alpha, why you never marry since? You're good looking, you have good money, you're doing, guys, there are not many guys with sense. And what do you mean by there are not many guys with sense? And I started giving, I'm just really excited. I used to tell my siblings, nobody teaches you how to be a man, unfortunately. There are many things I'm picking up late that I wish I picked up 6-7 years ago. But you have to learn it yourself. You have to re-educate yourself. I remember I got my first big break. I remember that at the time at Data Science Nigeria. How many of us have heard of the company, Data Science Nigeria? Anybody? Yeah. One of the biggest AI learning and solution delivery network on the continent. Got my massive break from there. And for the very first time, I had to move location and be alone for a season. And then I realized, how did my dad cope with all this stuff? I remember sometimes I would sleep. I'll come back from work very late because I was stuck in Lagos traffic. And by the way, I don't like Lagos at all. And stuck in traffic, go home 7:38, sometimes 9, super tired. I remember I was could even just sit down and just catch my breath. And I'll wake up tomorrow morning by 6, still on the same floor. And I don't have any choice but to go to the bathroom and go back to work. And that became a circle to the extent that you are just at work, you are just staring at the wall, you are not doing anything, you are not productive. There's still pressure, there's money, you are calculating, your rent is almost due. So much pressure. How did this adult? And I was so eager to be I don't know if you guys, I was so eager to be an adult. Why are you talking to me like that? I'm a man. And then I realized that title man is not so. But I used to look at my sister how I wish I was in Lagos. Sometimes I just who bought you food? One guy. Who bought you this? One guy. I'm nobody has ever bought me something and said, this guy, that's what I was saying. Why? And to be sincere, men go through a lot. I know women complain a lot and they are the ones winning on social media. Sometimes I just tell them, see, if men should behave the way women behave online, everywhere will scatter. Women cry a lot about, and I'm not trying to believe today. It's true that they've been subjugated for a while, but there are some things that men go through that nobody will hear because men will not talk. Are you know what I'm saying? Okay. And so that's why for me it's very, very important. And one of the topics I'm talking about today is something that happened to me about 5 years ago, a complete mindset shift. And I wish I was able to share some of them with you. Again, a bit of a background so that when I enter this, so you know where I'm coming from. I remember I finished from pretty good school, to be honest, pretty good school. I remember my dad was telling, I used to think this is one thing that adults do well that I did not know. I used to think, I don't know if you thought your parents were rich when you were young, but then when you grew up and you realized that you were not rich. Yes, I had parents like that. It was like they sent to one of those, popular schools, very expensive school fees, and I used to assume that my parents were rich. Until then I graduated, I realized that they were using cooperatives to pay my school fees. Yeah. Like, you didn't tell, like, maybe I would have been more serious if you had told me that it was cooperative. Maybe I would have been more serious. It was when I graduated, I was like, what? But there were signs then, because I remember going back to school, always going to school, and everybody were packing, Pringles, conflicts, go to more. My own was Gary. I was the supplier of Gary for my entire block. Like everybody's Gary. And so there were some signs, but it never really dawned on me that my parents were not that well to do. Like they were just pretty average, but they would give their they would give their life to ensure that their children did well. So they sent me to the school, and I remember it did not make any sense. And sometimes those are some of the things I wish I could change in my past. It did not make any sense to me. My dad told me, Shion, we are not sending you to this school so that you come and learn. You could learn all these things from other schools. We're sending you to this school to come and make friends. I'm like, why would you tell you are sending your son to come and make friends? It never clicked. And unfortunately for me, I was a bloody introvert. My was only to pass the exam that was my. Now I wonder, like, who bewitched me? And so I finished the school, and then I realized that I applied for a couple of jobs, didn't get it. That's when I started realizing that okay, something is wrong. I thought that you'll finish up. They used to tell us that there's unemployment. They used to tell myself, my case is different. I am a child of God. My case is different. Until I now realized that my case, that if I even got to one final stage of one international corporation, I was so excited I was going to get a job. And then the man called me, my interview at the end of the day, said, you know what, I think you're a good candidate. You're going to probably get a job, but we need you to pay us so that we also teach you some things and mentor you. I'm like, excuse me, sir, that's not how job is supposed to work. I'm supposed to work and then you pay me, not me pay you to get a job. And then I realized that something is up. And so, again, like most Nigerians, when you don't have anything to do, you go and do masters. So I went to go and do masters as well. And then after 2 years of masters, as I was getting close to the graduation, then anxiety started covering. Like I was, when you want to cut your hair, you have to go and ask your mother. at what age? That's when I realized that there was fire was on the mountain. Nobody had prepared me to be a man. And I knew that I was in trouble. And so there was no time for any girl, anytime. When we were few days to leaving school, I just went to go and lock myself up. I go, what is my life all about? Money I don't have. I don't even have anything. And so I locked myself up and like, I need something else to happen to. Like, I didn't even know. Like, even if I have something to do and I don't have money, at least I know I have some. Like, I don't know what to do with my life. Like, I had no clue. Like, what do you want to become in future? I had no answer for you. The only thing I've learned how to do was to read and prepare for exam and pass. So even in my master's, I was doing pretty well. I was like probably number 3 in the entire class. By the way, I started having some interesting experience. I saw that people as well as my daddy cheating the exam. That's like Nigeria is in trouble. Anyway, but so what's that interesting things I saw is like something has to change about my life. So I remember I got one book called The Purpose Book. I would never forget it. I've locked myself for 3 days. I was like, they said that this God used to talk. Perhaps he would tell me what my life is supposed to be all about. And I don't know what I was expecting. Maybe I was expecting that there would be a thunderous voice saying, my son, thou shalt become the next Dangote. I did not hear anything like that. I prayed. Third day, I was already tired. I was like, you know what? I give up. At least if I get to heaven, when I become nonsense or useless, I'll be able to tell God that I shout so that I prayed for these 3 days. and I asked you for my life vision and purpose. You did not tell me anything. You cannot blame me for being useless. Anyway, so so on the third day, I remember I did not hear anything. I was like, yeah, after I tried the retreat, they said we should try it. I tried it. I asked God everything, read book about purpose, try to understand my purpose, wrote some few things down. That does look like English too. If you know you're writing things and you're like, this is just English. I wrote those things down. I don't, it's just English. Anyway, so I remember I just had a very strange urge that day to put on my phone. I can never forget that phone had the radio. And I never listened to the radio. One of those apps that you just never ever touch. And so I put on the phone and I put on the radio. And once I put it on, there was somebody talking on the radio then. And then he started mentioning tech, learning about. By the way, I graduated from computer science, computer technology, and then did my master's in computer science, focused on bioinformatics. So AI for biological data, that was my specialization. So, and then put on the stuff. I'm like, yeah, I used to be very good in web design. In fact, one of the best web guys in the country at that time, very, very popular. If I mention his name, if you're a developer, you will know the guy. I'm so sure. In fact, I said that's a target. Stupid me. I said I should become friends with him and be rolling together with the guy. I said it as like, this guy, they said it's good. Okay, I'm going to prepare my exam so I will beat him in web development 302, whatever. And I did it. I was like top, and it was like maybe second, but I was very excited about myself. Stupid me. You don't know that. It's not by grade. You understand? Sometimes I wish I could rewind time. But thank God that God gave me the window to catch up, to close up all that gap. And so, saw this stuff, went to their office. My goal was there to go. I want to go learn. I used to be good in this stuff, but for some reason, I just dropped it. And so I wanted to learn again. And then I got there. I will never forget the man. At the time, was the owner of the firm was the former commissioner of finance for Ogun State. And he said, you know what? We don't really offer that training that you are looking for here. But if you're not less busy, we want you to work for us. So I went there to go get trained. I got employed. But you think that, they were paying me. They were not paying me. They said, your school fees is you working for us. And then you'll be learning. So that's how I started. After a while, the man pitied me. Like, I was coming every day and they was not paying me. So as a master's degree holder, I was earning 30K. Anyway, but again, I was doing it. Now that my brothers are making crazy money, my younger brothers, I tell them, this is not how money comes. I had suffered to pave the way and learn what, because I told 3 years ago, I told my brother to quit. If it was second year, I think during the COVID, it was second year, was the first class. I told him to quit school. Like, drop out of Ife. Funny enough, my parents also, for some reason, they've seen the results. They said, listen to your brother. So now that he's making crazy money at his age, I'm now the one telling him, this is not how money comes. I was doing masters, I was earning what? 30K. Never forget. Now I'm earning this money. Now I'm teaching him, put some in piggy vest. Do this. Because this is not how. But sometimes when you don't suffer to make, you will not appreciate the money. Me, I appreciate it. Because I suffered. Oh my God. Remember, you will use some part of your money for transport. You would have calculated it in the evening. I'm not rushing to anywhere. So I will trek some part of my journey home. Yeah, so that's the way we used to calculate it. So I know that some of you have had that experience. Yeah, I love that some of you have had that experience. It's very good. So you can understand what I'm saying. So I used to calculate it like that. You would drop here and then trek. And I remember that time, I didn't even know there was something called prayer walk. I would just put another shadabadakata. I will not be poor. I was very poor, but I will not be poor. Anyway, so God will work with the company. One day, I had a big break. God has been telling me, Seun, you're brilliant. I would never, when God will tell us something, I never believed. Like, I believe for the sake, so that when God accused me that, do you believe? I'll be able to say, yes, I believe. Yes, sir. But in my heart of hearts, the brilliance is not corresponding to the pocket, sir. Where's the brilliance? You get. Anyway, so I got an opportunity like an event like this that Emmanuel is organizing. I also organized something. I remember, I can never forget, July 15, July 15 or July 25, World Youth Skill Day, something like that. And then invited this man, who was the German Development Corporation coordinator for my state, Ogun State. And so I invited him. And for some reason, he just said, I love you. I like you. I just like the way you carry yourself. Like, I'm interested. And then he recommended, he gave us one opportunity to apply for one training like that. My boss did not think that we qualified. I did not have anything to do with the office. I told him, sir, we don't qualify, but let us apply anyway. And that's how I got my first major break. For that period was all expense paid trip to Abuja, stayed there, and I got this white guy to come and train us. And during the training one day, the white guy looked at me and said, Sean, you are brilliant. And something just clicked in my head that Oyibo is telling me I am brilliant. Therefore, I must truly be brilliant. That was the first time it just finally clicked. Something just opened up that, due to you have sense. Sure you get. And then from there, it's just been then another mindset shift that happened again. I'm going to get into this stuff because we need to get this stuff. Another mindset shift that happened to me again was, I went for a boot camp. Data science Nigeria as well, but just went for a boot camp and I came back. I felt like, what I've experienced now, my friends have to experience it. That was just the sincere desire. Just that I truly believed in my mind that not only do I have value, there's something in me that can also bless others. That's the mindset shift that it completely changed my life. The fact that no matter how small I am, there's still somebody that I can still bless. So I organized this 1 week training program. The DSN supported and all that. At that time, we were running something called AI Invasion. They were going to different cities. And I just did this from the bottom of my heart. I did not have any money. They said, if you have a space, I don't have any space, but I volunteered. And I started asking God, where are we going to use for the venue? We don't have venue. So strategy upon strategy, we shall have got a venue. And then later the man called me, and that's why I got my bit of big and said, Sean, do you know that you had the second highest attendance in the entire 30 states that we did this thing in? And then he asked me, are you interested in working with us? So I said, are you asking me if I understand? And that's how I got my first major break. So if you go and check Data Science Nigeria now, they are a massive company now. They have some of their team in Singapore. At the time when I joined them, we were just about 6 or 7. And before I left, we grew the team into 40 and I left. What I'm trying to tell you is that everybody has this interesting story. Everybody has this undue pressure. But I think that the first thing that you need to do is to first see yourself and believe that God that is at work in you can bring something meaningful out of your life. And then also secondly, believe that you have value that you can even bless other people with. I think if you have those two mindset shifts, things will begin to open up to you in ways that you can never imagine. Is that okay? Okay, so let's get into this. I just try to lay that foundation so that you understand that, people does not, that way say, men just don't come from nowhere. Everybody has a story. Everybody has a story. And again, trust me, I'm not even where I want to be. I'm grateful. I have grown tremendously in the past 4 years. I can't see. I have been, when you see your salary, I'm like, do you know what I'm saying? I feel that you have that feeling in your life. I cannot explain how to explain it. It's really life transforming, and you're looking like, my goodness. And so when Emmanuel was posting that stuff, I can relate. There's someone that you've never seen in your life. That's I tell people that there's some profession, for example, in tech, you can be suffering right now, but your next job can completely take your life. But before now and that time, that job, you just look like nothing's happening. But when you get that massive break, everything changes. Are you following what I'm saying? Okay. So I want to give you some steps that I did, some that I followed, and some that I'm also still following right now, as to how you can get to become, global and then lead on a world-class stage. Okay, let's start from there. So please, next slide. So you have to work with me. I'll be using my own phone so that just try and discern where I am in my slide. Is that okay? Okay, great. So my name is Oluwaseun, and it's very difficult for me to always explain what I do because I wear multiple hats. But I found a statement that kind of summarized it. It's like, I build programs, communities, and partnerships that provide young people opportunities in the digital economy. It's as simple as that. I don't know. So because sometimes you will see me and I'll tell you I'm a data scientist and an automation engineer or whatever. Sometimes I'll tell you I'm a program manager, I'm a community builder. So I just found like one name that just summarizes everything is that I build partnerships and this. By the way, this is not some sort of humble brag. This is for educational purpose. I've done quite well, but trust me, where we are going is still far. So, and some of you might even be here, have a way better profile. Forget, so it's not about showing of profile, it's showing of a journey. Is that okay? And because I'm going to use this as we're talking about practical steps to show you how I did this. And I'm going to explain some of this thing to you. So give me a moment. I need to open the slide on my phone as well. Did my master's in FUNAB, just everything said after FUNAB. So did my master's in FUNAB, got my first major job, the job I told you about with Lead Resources as a program officer manager. That's when I got the opportunity to work with German Development Corporation, a completely life-changing experience. From there, got my major break with Data Science Nigeria. And from there, and Data Science Nigeria right now is the leading, I think, honestly, is the leading AI learning and solution delivery network on the continent. And from there, got to work with AI Commons. AI Commons is one of the biggest AI non-profits in the world. And that was the first time I got to lead a multi-country project. So it was an exciting time. And then, so I led growth and outreach there, completely life transforming experience again. And then continued, got to work with also a collab, a very popular boot camp in the US and in Canada as a lead programs operation. Again, like I mentioned, this is educational purpose, and I will tell you why. In AI Commons, was working remotely. They are located in Paris. Cable was in US, Collab was in Canada. Now let's move on. So why go global? I'm going to come back to that chat anyway, but why go global? In case somebody here is just thinking, my life is all about just Ibadan and Ibadan only. I want to show you why I think you should think beyond Ibadan alone. Is that okay? Please be available. Especially as men. See, okay, I will give you some reasons. Number one, there's a disproportionate reward for top 1%. And I explained that to you. This, for me, changed my life. This is one of the reasons why I work as hard as I can. Because I just realized that everybody, the top 10% eat all the part that the 90% you have. The reward is not commensurate. And then I realized that constraint of the local economy, global competition, and the current trend of work. So let's quickly go to this. For me, I call this the compelling case of why you need to be world class. I saw this chart and it will never leave me easily. Please, it's a simple reason. If there's no reason in this world, this is one of the reasons you should be aggressive about becoming world class. The average software engineer, by the way, I did not use Nigeria because Nigeria is just a very weird place to use. Anyway, so average earning of software engineers globally or in the US is about $820, but $120,000 annually. If you take the top 1%, when I say FANG, you work in Facebook, Amazon, Alphabet, Apple, and all those guys. So those are your FANG. You earn 1.2 million. If you work in quant, you work in 1 million. That's 10 times what the average makes. Same profession, just different level of skill. If you're in consulting, average earnings $150,000. If you are a partner, you earn 1.5 million. That's 10 times. Even gets a lot more crazy when you go to sports. Professional sports, $50,000 if you're in minor league. If you are LeBron James, how much do you earn? 50 million. That's how many times? 1,000x. But all of you do what? You play basketball. Just different level of skill. So I always tell people, the gap between good and world class is not linear, it's exponential. This is one of the reasons why I made a covenant with myself. I will not be average. This is why I cannot be average, because average will be, see what average ends, see what it does takes if you put extra effort just to be world class. And I hope that somebody gets angry within them, like, no. Now I was talking to a friend of recent. He mentioned how much he earned, everything that he had to say after completely flew up past my head, because I was just thinking, what am I doing with my life? I think some of us need to start asking ourselves those questions. Sometimes I just take a trip and talk with some of these guys. I'm like, what exactly? Because they don't have two heads. Some of them even went to school together. But the extra push is that they separated themselves from others by just, like what Coach Boy said, skill stacking. Next slide. So this is the return of investment on being world class. So I talked about the constraint of the local economy. Look at your country, Nigeria. You know, right now they call Nigeria what? The poverty what? Poverty what? Okay, you guys are not, you don't want to say because Nigeria, you love Nigeria so much. 71 million people live in extreme poverty in Nigeria. 71 million people. Make it worse, 133 million people are multidimensionally poor. That's about 50%. You don't think you are poor until you have an accident. I had an accident last year, almost died. My siblings and the car was entirely total, like could not be fixed. They rushed me. My siblings were fine. They were at the back. They rushed me to the hospital. This from the gate. They told us that we cannot do anything for this one. Now, if it was a critical stuff, that's how we die. That's when you will know that you are multidimensionally poor. Because you can't afford, you can't access what? Good health. You might have small change in your cash, but don't worry. Nigerian police SARS, they will show you that you are dimensionally poor. So that's poor, or not only in finances, in multiple facets of life. Anyway. So constraint of the so if you're not thinking about being work class, I'm just trying to show you the constraint of your local economy. Now let's go back to the next one. Global competition. You know now, talent is now borderless. You're not competing with only the guy you graduated from in UI. And it doesn't matter where you are. I used to tell my people, I work with people who finish from Cambridge, who finish from Oxford, finish from Stanford. It doesn't matter that I went to FUNAB. Nobody cares. You will still compete with all those guys. So talent is borderless. I'm too sure. And when you start calculating, I calculated the salary. Number one, I'm going to entirely change my wardrobe. I started calculating it in my head. Even before, change my wardrobe. This clothes is old. This one is old. Change everything. And then change even apartment. I started calculating how much I was going to spend. Because I was that sure. Because the truth is, how many people, I'm not even like, I spent almost all my life in EdTech. So there are very few people who are at my level of competence plus experience. That was my own thinking. So, I was so ready for the final stage. I was already thinking I'm going to bamboozle them. And then it now entered the stuff. And I realized that we're about 12 on the call. 12 people from 10 countries, sir. That's when I realized that I might not get this job. When the result came out, it now turned out that I did not get the job. It humbled me to the core. Now I apply with diligence. I cross my teeth, I dot my eyes. Because you're no longer just competing with your local Nigerian market. You are competing with everybody. Are you following what I'm saying? This is why you cannot be average. And this is why as men, we need to rise. It's very important. Move on. The last one is the current trend of work. Let me show you some current trend of work. Things that work is completely changing right in front of our very eyes, and some of us are not even taking notice. So let's walk through some of the changes. So I'll quickly walk through them. Number one, the current state of work is fast changing. I'll explain to you why. Number two is getting decentralized. Number three is getting non-linear. Number four is becoming African. Number five is a rise of females. Right? My gas left off. Rise of females. Let me explain them one by one. This next slide. I used to ask the same question everywhere I go. It's just to make a point. Because sometimes when I talk about work is fast changing, people, it doesn't click in their mind. So let me ask you a general question. Can you mention jobs that existed about 10 to 20 years ago that no longer exist now? There are many. Think about it. Existed 10 to 20 years ago that does not exist now. Who wants to try? Yes, sir. Typewriters, God bless you. Typewriters used to be a big job then. It doesn't exist anymore. Who else wants to try? Jobs that existed 10 to 20 years ago, it doesn't exist now. Like completely dead. Nobody? Thank you very much. What else again? Thank you. Do you guys remember recharge card sellers? You guys remember when we used to pay some amount to make phone calls? Do you still see them around? Okay. What about your meter readers that come and be reading meter? What about, I remember that time when I was in primary school, after every holiday, my dad would go and carry one Ghana Must Go of cassette, go and rent it. That's when we were watching when Yoshibo. Where did you are teaching us about our life? You're sitting there watching Yoshibo. Do you understand what I'm saying? Those are jobs that existed 10 to 20 years ago. Can you go to the next slide? Why is my animation not showing? Go back, go back, go back. Should be showing. Anyway, you've already answered the next one. I didn't want it to be answered. Next. Is it PDF? What? No, there is the... Please, use the slide because you are going to distort the flow. But anyway, if you can switch to the normal slide itself. So I was wondering why is it everything. So I want to ask you now, what are jobs that exist now? That I know you probably have seen the original, but what are jobs that exist now that did not exist 10 to 20 years ago? Just to show you how fast this work thing is changing. Because there are some jobs that exist now that do not exist 10 to 20 years ago. And some of you are building your life on those jobs, not knowing that you are preparing yourself to fail. And it's unfortunate. And it's because people are not always aware. They're not in the know. Like, why are you building a career in this? This thing will not exist. Should I give... I want to mention a job, but I'm afraid that some people will be doing that. And it's very sad. Because they will not exist in 10 years. And you are building your entire life on it. It's a very dangerous thing. So let's go back to my original process. I don't offend anybody. What is a job that exists now that did not exist 10 years ago? Huh? Virtual assistant. Thank you very much. It did not used to exist 10 to 20 years ago. Which one again? Let me tell you one that is making, and all of you are aware. I'm surprised that nobody mentioned it. YouTube creator. Did he exist 10 to 20 years ago? Now, those guys are making me consider my entire career. I'm thinking, should I go open YouTube channel? I want to go and be doing content now because those guys are making serious money. But 10 to 20 years ago, those jobs did not exist. Can somebody give me one more? What's going on with this slide? If it doesn't work, we can just switch back to... Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you. So the next one. So let's go back to the... Yeah. So now we have blockchain engineer, mobile app. As prevalent as this career seems now, they did not exist 10 to 20 years ago. YouTube creator, solar technique. Everybody's doing solar now. Interesting stuff. Social media manager. You know what I'm saying? So the next question, what are the jobs that will exist 15 years from now that don't exist now? Uber is already existing now. That will exist in 15 years' time that don't exist now. So that's what I want you to start thinking, because that's the way you start preparing for your future. Me, and I will get there. No, let's move on. Move on. Let's quickly show you that. Move on to that one. Thank you. These are some of the jobs that will exist in the next 15 years that don't exist now. Next slide. So I need to move on quickly, very fast. Okay. So I talked about the fact that work is changing really fast. This is statistics, real life. Whether you argue with it or not, this is what they say would happen. By 2030, all 50% of all jobs will require some level of technology proficiency. You already seen it, right? I remember we released a book, the very first book for nursery and primary first AI book, textbook for nursery and primary schools in Nigeria and in Africa. We released it in my company, Data Science Nigeria. And I remember I was asked to go to all schools, like go to some schools in Lagos and talk to parents. But they wanted to open AI clubs in their schools. So I remember I can never forget this experience. I was talking with all the passion in my heart. Like, technology is coming, AI is changing everything. And one was just looking at me, eyeing me. I'm like, what did I do to offend this woman? So at the end of the thing, she now raised up her hand and said she wants to talk. I said, my own child is going to be a medical doctor. He's not going to need this. I said, if, and I just very politely, I said, if your child will become an herbalist, he has to learn AI. He has to learn technology. Every medical doctor now, part of their curriculum, is also have to be able to carry out that. But it's not everything that's going to be, everything is being automated now. Right? IBM Watson diagnoses cancer faster and more accurately than any and all oncologists in this world. So we can no longer say that, my child is going to be a banker. They will not learn how to use the system. Like, how are you going to even do your accounting? Do you think it's still paper and pen? Unfortunately, some people are still using paper and pen. That's what I'm saying. So 50% of all jobs. So to have some guys in Nigeria, to Lagos and Ibadan, I have some guys in Accra. I'm going to Nairobi. I'm going to Accra on Wednesday. Some of the guys I work with, I guess will be hosting me there. And that's going to be the very first time in my life that I've been to all of them. What I'm trying to say that, I know some of you had a dream of working in a very big office. That's not how the future of work is going to look like. Some of us would have, your big office will be in your house. You know what I'm saying? So you have to learn, there are many things that you need to learn about how to work remotely. Some of us don't even understand If I put you on a collaborative tool, you don't even understand where to go. Do you know what I'm saying? So you need to start practicing it now. Some people don't even know how to use Zoom. Have you been on church prayer meetings? They are putting on, they are just making noise. Somebody is showing himself like Jesus. These are the people that say they want to turn the world over for Jesus. So that's what I'm saying. See where we are in trouble. They don't know. Like, and these are the brothers that want to change the world. The future of work is going to be decentralized, and you don't know how to use Zoom till now. Next slide. See, I know it's funny, but I hope you are picking up the lesson. Some of you are laughing because it is addressing you. It's good. Just pick up the lesson. You know what I'm saying? Pick up the lesson. Something happened last year. Nobody knows. Very few people noticed. And it pains me because young people go around and shout, there is no work. There's no work. There's Nigeria. Do you know that last year, silently, it happened? I made it, I told my people, you can ask them. I told them, nobody again. I have not seen that's a lot for you. I told my own people, nobody is allowed to apply for Nigerian jobs again. So what we now do is that we train and prepare ourselves for global opportunities. Do you know that just last year, the amount of companies coming from Nigeria to recruit remotely from Nigeria increased by 800%. By what? 800%. 42% of Africans already work remotely now, at least once a day, once a week. You know, one friend of yours that say, you know what? I said today's my off-site. You know somebody. I know you are still arguing that no, you have to be there are some people that are already doing it. And when they did the survey, 73% of them are willing to work remotely. Some of you, with your joy and your prayer, Lord, every remote job, because it's changing. And Nigeria's gig economy is crazy now. I remember some people used to think I was doing Yahoo before. Because they see me on Monday morning, I just wear my short dicker and I'm just taking a stroke. Because sometimes, see my stomach now. When you see that, they'll think that I'm eating. So because you're just sitting down and you're just sedentary. So I take a walk up. When people are watching to go to this guy, sir, when you were sleeping like a crocodile, I was busy working. Are you following what I'm saying? So not every young person that you see is doing Yahoo. Because this I tell you some people will never be rich. Because their first judgment of any young person that is doing kind of well, Yahoo, don't you? If you have that mindset, you will never. Even if it's Yahoo, you should be asking yourself, what exactly is it that is that? What kind of Yahoo? You have to be curious. And trust me, these Yahoo people, they are not making as much money as you think. Now, I was talking to some people and I was really sad when I thought that with all your Yahoo Plus, the only thing I can now buy is a Toyota Corolla. Don't you think that Satan is sitting down on your head? It's your Yahoo Plus, it's Toyota. If you can see Toyota with Yahoo Plus, Satan, go back on. The next one is that the future of work is also African. And what does that mean? Like I mentioned, let me show you this guy. Okay, thank you so much. This man is sharp. See, this is the population projection of all the continents in the world. See Africa. Every continent is either their population is reducing or they are stunting. See Africa. One Okada man that lives in one bedroom apartment has 7 children. We are just giving birth. We do not care. It's an advantage and it's also what? A disadvantage. The advantage now is that all their guys, they are becoming old. They need people to work for them. Where would they come? It's Africa. They need young people. So there will always be a demand for us. Unfortunately for us, our own economy might not be able to cater for it. But there will be a global demand for Africans. So there's a global demand now for talent. There's a global demand for content. The world is chopping Africa. Have you not noticed? Your Burna Boy, there's a demand. Even our movies, even our gospel artists, well, one you just wake up and say that security concerned with how do they even know themselves? Because there's a global demand for African content. And yet you are funny here, just wasting your talents, laughing. Anyway, let me stop there. So there's a global demand. And then I want to talk about this because this is very critical for me. And I mentioned that there will be also a rise of non-linear roles in the future. And I showed you that one of the reasons why I showed us that my career trajectory, because I wanted to use it for educative purpose. I started as a web developer in 2016. Then I started working as a programs manager. Then became a data scientist. And now I'm doing AI and product management. I see what I'm saying? That in this new way of work, nothing will tie you down except if you want to tie yourself down. There are so many opportunities to explore. The roles are now completely non-linear. Are you following what I'm saying? And your experience in all of this will become very, very... So I cannot imagine that my experience as a web developer and a data scientist would help me create better products. Are you following what I'm saying now? So these are things that are critical. I always tell people, don't define yourself in one particular role. Give yourself that flexibility to explore. See where the opportunities are coming from. If you see my CV, I have 3 different kinds of CVs. And I love it. If I see a role tomorrow and I have a CV for it. As a dad, I have a CV for it. Are you following what I'm saying? Give yourself room to fly. Moving on. I just wanted to mention it because we are men. Times are changing. You cannot be shouting at African men are in trouble. African men, because the way they have taught us that we are the sole provider, there is a rise of females, and will not stop. Everywhere is nice, women in tech. Why are the men in tech? There's an heavy investment in women now. And globally, 60% of UK's wealth is now in the hands of female. You know, I'm thinking that maybe I should just go to UK and go and find a wife. Because all this one, they're just billing us, have you? But what I'm trying to say is that there's a rise of female, and there will, even that there are women who are going to, and so therefore, men's leadership style has to change. Because the reason why our fathers were able to do is like, oh, they are the sole provider, they are the alpha and the omega. You cannot be. Are you following what I'm saying? There has to be something beyond finance that will still help you to maintain leadership even in your relationship. It's very important. You know, women are rising now. I'll say something, my baby earns more than me. And I'm not a small boy. Are you following what I'm saying? So how will you still, because many men, if they are woman is they lose any sort of confidence, they don't know how to lead again, they become, threatened. They say when a woman has money, but when better calm down. You are going to see more of that in this field because women will receive more opportunities in the coming. Are you following what I'm saying? And it's also a challenge to women. Stop doing this. Don't listen to social media. Stop listening to Lambo Lamba. You guys don't know what I'm talking about. Bonner boy. I promised one girl. Okay, sorry, different audience. Okay, moving on. So, I'm going to say that don't join that trend of selling, or for ladies here, of selling your body for anything. It's like invest in your mind. If you can, I tell my sisters, like this is the best time for you to invest and to get a massive return on your investment on yourself. Because there are opportunities for ladies everywhere. It's also the one that happened about a month ago. What's the name of this guys? Money Point. Just went to Ife. They treated some bunch of ladies who were not shouting. What about the men? You've had your chance. I might say there'll still be chances for us, but there'll be more ladies now with sense. And I'm happy for it. It's good for us too. But the game advantage says that men need to become better leaders. You cannot threaten any woman now. Well, maybe in Nigeria though, but you can't threaten most women and say, I would collect what I bought for you. Collect it, we'll buy another one. Do you understand? So you need to understand leadership beyond just releasing or tightening resources towards somebody. Is that what I'm saying? Okay. That's how the future of work will be, whether you like it or not. Women will rise. You will see more women CEOs. And unfortunately, they will also be very proud because they have to fight their way to get there. So you cannot expect them to be smiling at you every time. So you see that you will learn how your ego will not be destroyed. That's why when we're saying that your ego should not be tied to your work. That's a different conversation entirely. That's not what they sent me to come and do. Maybe some other time we'll talk about that one. So let me go to what I just said. Current state of work is fast changing. I used to say jobs are being reinvented every single day. It's decentralized. You can work from any place. You can have multiple employers. It is non-linear. It means that you don't have a rigid career path. You can always change and then just explore. It's African. By 2050, 1/3 of the world's population will be African. So there will be a global demand for African talent and African content. And there's going to be a rise of females. So males have to learn how to, and trust me, females, especially in tech, they are very aggressive and very brilliant. So you need to hold your ground and also manage them. Is there any small thing? Is it because I'm a lady? No, you have to be to, no, it's not. Just you have to be to manage them. So why go global? I've mentioned 4 things. Just to recap again, so you don't forget. Number 1, I said there's a disproportionate reward for top 1%. If you're not in the top 1%, you're probably learning way less than you should earn, or a top 10% learning way less than you should earn. There's a constraint of the local economy. Nigeria still remains, I think there are limited opportunities within our local economy. That's the message there. And there's the global competition. You're going to be competing with everybody around the world. And there's the current trend of work. I've mentioned 4 of them already, which is there's an emphasis on skills, there's an emphasis of impact, and there's global talent mobility. Is that okay? So now let's talk about how do we truly become world class then? We've talked about, I've tried to make a case, in case some of you were not motivated to become world class, at least you are motivated now, right? Is anybody not motivated at all to become world class after this? After this, if you are not motivated, I don't know what I can do for you. We need some spiritual intervention after this. So, world class. So, how do you think about being world class? Or how do you define it? I think number 1, in your expertise, you have to be in the top 1 to 10% in your skill set or in your career. That's the way I think about it. So if I say I'm world class, I can't even necessarily say I'm world class at this point. Like, I'm on my journey there. You have to be in the top 1 to 10% in your skill set. You have to have impact, beyond your local borders. Don't be a local champion. Thank God you are doing in Ibadan, but there's something you can do greater than what you are doing here. Adaptability, you can thrive in different environments. Some of us, when you get your first remote job, that you realize that you are not adaptable. I remember when I first I got to work with my former boss in the US. It took me he would tell me, Sean, don't call me ma. I said, okay, ma. Are you? It was a big challenge. That's why I realized that, they've indoctrinated us. And, until she threatened me with my salary, that's when I now the threat is now reaching my money. Like, I now lent it by force. That's what I'm saying. So that's when you now realize that, there are many things that are normal in Nigeria, they are not normal everywhere in the world. No. I remember I went to go pick her. She came to me, went to go pick her from the train station. She said something that just struck me. She said, I've forgotten that the color of the ground is red. I was annoyed, and I don't know how to put it. And what was saying that the road was not that. So she now saw the clayey road. I was like, you almost forget that I don't shook my face. See what Nigeria has done to my life and destiny. So let's quickly talk about how to become world class. Right? I'm going to try and I'm going to start from a point of mindset and then go into practical terms. So I'll talk about mindset, I'll talk about mastery, I'll talk about the global network, I'll talk about digital platforms, I'll talk about skill, and I'll talk about trends. And for this is I want to give us some mindset, some tools, and then practical steps. Is that okay? I'll try and rush through it because I know I'm already running out of my time. Am I correct? Okay. So number 1, mindset, and I'm going to try and rush through this. Please pay attention. Number 1, I truly believe that you should continually learn. Never stop learning. It's very shocking when I see men. Okay, I will get there. Continuous learning, builders mindset, global perspective. Let's talk about continuous learning. This is an 82-year-old woman, and she's the oldest programmer that I could find on the internet. She learned how to code and build a mobile game for older adults. And I talked to 35-year-old guys and asked them, go and learn this. I said, my brain cannot carry it again. I'm like, what in God's name are you talking about? So my brain cannot carry it again. I wish I had learned it in secondary school or in uni. My brain, I tell you, there's nothing I cannot learn. There is nothing, someone say, I can learn everything. Say, I can do all things. Please believe it with your heart. I tell you, there's nothing I cannot learn. No matter how complex it is, we will break it down and figure it out. A 35-year-old saying he cannot carry it. What do you mean you cannot carry it? And this is what's limiting many people. Some people have had the opportunity to learn coding all from themselves. My brain cannot carry it. I understand if you don't have a flair for it, it's different. but that you cannot put yourself through rigor to learn something new, please remove that. You have to continuously learn. That's why I'm always shocked when I see people graduate from university and they break their pen and they promise themselves that even if they see signboard, they will not read it. Like, what do you think? What do you what do you think work is? Some of us are still writing. I'm preparing to write even two certification exams in the next 2. You can never stop learning, or else you'll be in trouble. You have to continually learn. Let's move on to the next one. Builder's mindset. And this is one thing that Nigerians suck at. We are terrible at this. We pack certificates. We never build anything meaningful. So when they ask you what is the experience, 0 experience but plenty certificates. And God has now, in this world, people don't care about your certificates. To hell with your certificate. It's what can you do? They will put you in front of a system and say, okay, now you call yourself a data analyst. Now analyze data. That's when people now start sweating. It's what can you do? If you are picking up a skill or preparing for an exam, look for the way you can apply it and start applying. I met some data analysts and they're like, okay, well, show me some of the dashboards you have built. So I know I'll not be there. What did you not learn? And I love using this man as an example. How many of us have heard of budget before? I love using them as an example because budget is nothing special. I say I don't want to belittle the man's work, but at the very core of it, budget is a very simple thing. It's a simple data analyst that was able to analyze government data, budget, and all these things, and help us make sense of it. We have so many data analysts that can do this job, but somebody thought about how can I apply these little skills. Sometimes it's not about what you know, it's about how you apply it. And I want us to embody this thing. Always be building something. Be working on a project. Be building something. You're a software engineer. Don't only be building what they give you at work. Find a pet project to work on. This is my advice I give to my brother. See, my brother, by the way, is still 2 of them. One has already got it. The one I'm talking about right now, he's still in uni. I told him the same thing. Always be building something. So he joined an open source project. Just to be building something. He did not know that something was going to come up for it. Now they are paying him. If I tell you how much they are paying that young boy, now I'm telling myself I have to now sit up too. I'm telling you. Always be building something. Don't just meet and say, what are you working on now? And so I just the lounge. Don't ever be caught lounge. Please, are you what I'm saying? Be building something. I don't think Nigerians do this well, honestly. Like, we are just packing certificates. Next one. Think beyond borders. And I've said this over and over again. Think beyond Ibadan. Please, for Christ's sake. There is life outside Ibadan. There is life outside Nigeria. I know you are proud of your culture and everything, but please think beyond this region. Follow global news. If I ask somebody now, like, what is happening in the field of AI? Ask people what is DeepSeek. Some people don't even know what ChatGPT is. You'll be surprised. What is happening there? What is the latest? We are laughing that. I went to this. She's there. We went to Funab to go and interview. We were doing Vox Pop. So we just went there and just asked people random questions. What's the full meaning of AI? Some people do not know it. You don't know it. Yes, sir. Students, not old people, students. Learn, so work with diverse teams. Learn to work with different teams. By the way, FUNAB is a very good school. I did my master's there, so please don't let us insult FUNAB. Right? So work with diverse teams. Learn a language. It's not only Yoruba that you have to speak every time. Learn something. You will never know how to come in handy. Right? Adapt to different business norms. So I've talked about the mindset. Let me just recap again. I like recapping so that people get the point. So in mindset, I talked about continuous learning. That you continually learn. I thought about builder's mentality. That always be building something. Always be building something. And then have a global perspective. Think beyond border. Join global learning communities. Learn global etiquettes. Now, next thing. Mastery. And this is why I think about mastery. You're unmistakably great. Let anybody that sees you know that this guy has stuff. But there's a lot of work. So quickly, let me talk about how do you build mastery. Just quickly run through it. Number one, deliberate practice. Always practice. Always practice. Focused, intentional skill building. Benchmark against the best. I tell people that sometimes it's not difficult to do world-class thing. Whatever you do, just benchmark it against the best. If this same event was held in San Francisco, how will it be held? That's the way it should. Because I see sometimes in the place that I stay, they will bring, they don't GDG now, they will do GDG in Lagos. You'll be so proud, like this is so beautiful. They will bring that same GDG to Abeokuta or Ibadan. Why are you coming? What is wrong? What is wrong with my people like this? Are you paying attention to what I'm saying? Always benchmark against the best. Now I've done, like, can somebody step here and not know that this was done in Abeokuta or was done in Ibadan? Is that what I'm saying? Always benchmark against the best. Somebody will give you project. You don't, this is how we do it in Ibadan. You cannot. I was like, these things, I'm speaking from my heart, but honestly, I'm so tired of seeing mediocrity all around. You know, so to find graphic designer, some people, they are experts at just doing, it's only burial design they can do. If you put them to do something, it's nonsense. But burial, they are good. All those churches and the pastor sound like this, that's what they know how to do. I'm like, what is wrong with people? Let me be, you know, be good. Don't be made. I don't be allowed to go over. I want to be learning some. These are the things that, well, looking for graphic design. If you have an interview, they show us what you have designed. Okay. Now, you that you like, are you proud of what you designed? Look at it. Does it look good to you? Number 3, get certifications and credentials. And I spoke about people practice certificate. It's still very important. It's still very important. Right now, I'm also pursuing a lot. It's very, very important. And then also build a portfolio. Many of us, you have done excellent job in the past. They only ask you now, there's no place where you have packed them all of them together. That's a terrible habit. You don't know what opportunities will come up from. You need to figure it out. Get everything put somewhere. On a website, get your portfolio together. And make sure that all the projects there are excellent. Remove projects that you are seeing that this is average. Remove it from it. Right? Create a portfolio of excellence. Next one, build a global network. And this is very important. I say this a lot, and please, some of these things I know you are laughing, but please pick up lessons from them. This global network is one of the secret of career. One of the secret of my. I always tell people, like, if you take your contact list and all the names that you are seeing. Now, and I'm very sorry, you are seeing Mukaila, Sodiki, Larry. That's the only name you are seeing. You will pay for your. There is no Jason in your. There's no Wilcox in your. There's nobody that you know outside of this night. Build it. I know you guys are laughing, but these are the. I'm telling you, there's a woman that I know that single-handedly has transformed my life. She has recommended me for more jobs than anybody has ever recommended me for, and it's not Nigerian jobs, sir. And it's all because being intentional about building good, reasonable network. This is where. So attend events, LinkedIn, and industry events like this. Get mentorship. I get, well, for some reason, in the past 2 years, my mentors have been ladies. It's been an entire. I'm seeing things from a different light. And I'm saying ladies completely, no, I'm not talking about global ladies. Collaborate with people. I've said this, there are many open source projects out there which, like, work on them. Just collaborate, volunteer. And then also join global communities. I tell my people there are some communities I pay heavily for every month just to be part of them. You see people from like 20 different countries in that community. I pay my hard-earned money just to be there. Because that's when you see opportunities that are not open to every other person. Are you following what I'm saying? There are some opportunities that you're just circling around the battle. You need to, if you want to become the men that we are talking about now, we need an escape velocity that will bring us. I don't know what you're like. I'm tired of waking up every day and just seeing. So I feel like once you've tasted a bit of global relevance, your entire taste changes. I remember the very first time, my siblings were like, "Why are you always angry every time?" And I told them the reason. I told them clear. My boss was not around. I can never forget that experience. So he recommended me to go. So Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, we are hosting a gathering of partners in Abuja. And so, they flew me down to Abuja. I can never forget, somebody was holding a placard and saying, "Mr. Hamzat Oluwaseun," on on the placard. I was like, wait, is it my Hamzat or somebody says it's Hamzat? So I went there and the guy led me to the car. And this, you cannot blame me because this is a small boy from Abeokuta, Shege. So got there and I entered inside this massive Jeep. So in my mind, I scooped to the last edge, thinking that there are still more people. Until the guy started, I was like, are we not picking the rest? He said, no, we only came to pick you. So I was there in the car, I was asking myself, God, what am I doing here? It has not ended though. Then I got to this hotel. I've not forgotten the name of the hotel. One of the most beautiful hotels I've seen in my life. And I entered, sir. I cannot lie to you. As I opened the door, the television came on by itself and said, welcome, Mr. Hamzat. I stood in front of that view, just looking at the TV. And I know what I did. And you can ask my siblings, I still have the video. I called her and said, as from now on, you will never, nobody's allowed. If I see you watching any useless, nobody's allowed to be poor. That's what I told them. And I showed them, I was like, look at this bedroom. This bedroom is better than our room, is it not? So when I now came back from there, I now came back to my city. And I went to church. One boy was talking about a gay house, and he's very poor. I know this guy, extremely poor, talking about anger. Like, I just, with anger with my spirits, I went to Abuja with all of them were young people like me. They didn't have 2 years. I got there because my boss was not around. I was not even qualified to be. I got there and I saw that. I thought I would be seeing people like they were all young people like me. I came back and I told myself, if I see you do nonsense, you sit and walk after money for 6 hours. Your mate are being carried, chauffeured around with jeeps. So what I'm saying now, I'm talking with passion, is because of what I've seen. Some of you are not, I'm taking the vibe, I'm scanning you, some of you are not, what is this guy? Just if you taste what I'm saying once, there is this hunger, there's something that wakes a guy up by one, and the first time he prays a little and goes back to go and take his course. That kind of hunger is not gotten by just, God will just give you a taste and takes it back. I don't want to stay with these people. So people think that sometimes I'm proud. I'm not proud. If you've seen what I've seen, you will be hungry like this too. That's what I'm saying. I'm not go. Let's move on. So let's rate digital platforms. And I'm going to try and wrap up now. So number one, I think you should do personal branding. Brand yourself the best way you can. Present yourself. Don't be doing all this and then put it online. Like you are becoming men now. We need to grow up. I left what? When I was a child, I behaved like a child. Now, you're a man. You have to leave childish things. And all this, please, let's leave childish things. Get a proper headshot of yourself. Wear suits and get a proper headshot of yourself. Put face cap on LinkedIn. What is your problem? Showcase your work. Portfolios, case studies, speaking engagements, share them. If you check my profile, you will see all littered. People are asking, are you a public speaker? I said, that's why I find myself. There's a level of light that would attract people to come over to you. I didn't set out to be a public speaker, trust me. I don't want to make money and make impact in my little way. For the first time in my life, I'm going to go and have an international speaking engagement. And I don't even plan it. It's that when you showcase what you are doing, there will be a global demand. These little things that you think you are doing, you'll be surprised at how many people are surprised, how many people are in search for it. Put it out there. And for me, I don't care what people say anymore. Is it my work? Did I do it? I put it out there. I follow what I'm saying. Okay. Third thing, I think that you should start looking for remote opportunities. My own personal opinion, you might take it or not. I think you should start applying. You know what I do? I love putting my LinkedIn to open to work, just so that I will see jobs. And again, by the way, you can do this on LinkedIn now. LinkedIn has removed restriction. You can set your LinkedIn to only see jobs in the US. I don't even want to see jobs in the US because how much are they paying? Somebody, if they pay you 500K, they want to kill you. They want to strangle. How much is 500K? That's how much an intern gets paid. Are you following what I'm saying? And the 500K guy here is oppressive everybody. 500K? I'm not saying, if you're any, do you understand what I'm saying? They say you work on Saturday, work on Sunday as well. So I'm going to church. No, you have to take your work serious on Sunday, sir. I remember one time I did not pick my call and then my mom I said, sir, it was a Saturday. He said, no, it doesn't matter. When I call, you pick. I say, yes, sir. I knew my time was over. In that place, I knew it. I started working for remote companies. They were telling me, sir, Sean, you should go and you should take some time off. I said, sir, wait, did I offend you? No. Did I commit any crime? He said, no, you've been working out. You should take some time. I said, what? Never in my life, when I was working for Nigerian company, did anybody recommend for me to go and rest? Never. When they even were, I was afraid. I maybe they wanted to sack me. But I'm not tired. I'm not tired. I can do more. So go and rest. But Nigeria, you want to kill you. You're any 500K, you are sleeping. You are sleeping. How can you be sleeping 500K? Are you a joke? No more work. Tell that person in Jesus' name. Next one, I think you should think and operate at scale. I always tell people, sometimes it's not the amount of work, it's the levers that you push. What are the small things, what are the concentrated work that you would do that would shift the needle in a big way? Always think scale. Always, in fact, if you ask me, one of the skills I think everybody should pick up, whether you're a tech guy or not, you should pick up automation. Learn it. How do I automate things that I'm doing with Teddy every time? I think I'm personally picking it up. So that's I'm just telling you. Free up time for high value tasks. Do things that you don't need to. Like I have a friend who automated sending messages to all his contacts on their birthdays. You would think that the guy sent it. Automated it. It's wisdom. Learn to automate simple things in your life. Don't be doing everything over and over again. Is that clear? Think scale. There are some things that I don't ever do again. I can do it. I can design a Canva. But what should I design? Why should I spend my time learning to design? I can just tell somebody to do it. How much does the person take? Do you know what I'm saying? So learn to automate and delegate. Solve global problems. See, you know that I learned last year, and I'm sorry to say this. I learned this. It's very sensitive. For people who are in startups, I tell them one thing that you learn in Nigeria, that Nigerians are very poor. So when you develop a product for them, sometimes they cannot afford it. They know they need it, but they cannot afford it. So develop solutions for people that can pay. That boot camp that I offered is the same thing that those guys are doing. One course over there, one course is $2,000. We only need 10 people. 10 people is our maximum in class. That's what we are. Our target is 10 people. When I was working for Data Science Nigeria, my target was 60 people. I wanted to die. I'm going from bank to bank trying to convince people. 60 in the class, just 10. $2,000 per person. And those guys are not even like extremely rich. Most of them are still in their, still early stage in their career. But they can pay it easily. Or they can pay it, in terms. But here, anyway, are you following what I'm saying? So learn to solve global problems. Think scale. Even in Nigeria, there are some Nigerian problems that you can also still think problems and how you can solve them. Just think. Sometimes it's just a good mental exercise. Even if you don't go about to fully implement it, just think problems and how you can solve it. And then monetize your expertise. It's good to do things. I still do many things for free. Right? I'm speaking here for free. Right? But figure out a way to attach some value to it as well. I want to say something. You guys are not in the speaking engagement now, but there's a way to even if you're doing stuff for free, there's a way to still sell yourself. My boss tells me, say, everywhere you go to speak, find your stuff. Even if tell them that I will sell myself. So as you are speaking, tell them, I work for this company and this is what we do. And you can even find a way to insert it into your work. Are you following what I'm saying? Monetize your experience. And as I wrap up, stay ahead of trends. Follow industry leaders. I don't know what. See, I used to tell. I can't tell this to grown men. I used to tell my own siblings. I don't know why you are following whiskey that they will. Do you want to become them? There's somebody in your field that you can follow that has sense. Follow those guys. There are some people that I set post notification. Anytime they post, I see it. It's an aggressive. I've read most of their books. I follow them aggressively. I've read their autobiographies. I tell people, you see me physically in Nigeria. My brain, my soul, my spirit is not here. It's not from here. I don't talk like an Ibadan or Abeokuta boy. I don't. Learn future skills. Again, I said, I think everybody should learn AI and automation. I think you should learn it. Even if how to prompt engineering, ChatGPT, learn it. And adapt. Take action now. Utilize all your available resources. So let's recap. How to become world class. Number one, I mentioned mindset. That you have to shift your mindset. Gain mastery, build a global network. Leverage digital platform. There are a lot of platforms now that you can get a lot of opportunities from. Brand yourself, stay relevant. Then think of skill. Think of the biggest lever I can push that would move the needle. And then focus on the trend. So let's talk about some action plans so that to not just be all English. What can I do now moving forward? Number one, I think that you should assess, audit your personal brand, audit your skill set, and benchmark against the work. I do this every time. You know what I do? I go and check somebody that I feel like is in my line, but has more experience than me, is getting paid than me. I go and audit their LinkedIn. What skill, what certification do they have? And I include it in my learning plan. That's what I do. It's not as if I have one special skill. It's just that I'm aggressively following world-class people. I'm trying to learn what they are learning. It's as simple as that. There's no rocket science to this thing. So assess it, audit yourself. Now you're a product manager. Who is the best product manager that you know? Go and check his stuff. What is he doing? What is he learning? What is he posting? What is he sharing? How is he appearing? How is he positioning himself? And then start taking your own action bit by bit. You'll be surprised how far you will go in 6 months. People used to assume that this thing takes time. That's the biggest lie that, you have to do this thing consistently for 4 years. Trust me. The moment you start becoming intentional and aggressive about push, in 6 months your life can change from day and night. I'm telling you the truth. Number 2, skill up. Identify 1 or 2 areas in your life, or two skills, and just sit down like, I'm going to master this thing, and just sit down there and master it. Master it. Study, take exams like your life depends on it. The network. Find somebody, and the interesting thing about LinkedIn is that you can connect anybody. Connect with them and thank them and ask them. Don't ask them and say, how can you be a mentor? See, anyone asks you that, come and mentor me. I'm tired of that thing. That's a terrible question to ask. Never ask anybody to mentor you directly like that. Always come with a specific question. It's on that question and that engagement that it gradually goes into. But if you ask them for me, how do you expect them to us? Again, don't just ask for vague mentorship. Be very, very specific. I'm trying to do this. I saw that you've done it in the past. Can you give me some few pointers? That's the very way I built relationship with. I didn't even know I was going to become a minister. It was Sutijan. Met him at the conference. I was speaking at the conference. He was also speaking. We spoke at the same panel conversation. I told him, sir, you built this here. I'm trying to build this up. You tried everything. It's not working. And to my biggest surprise, he just sent me an email, set a time, and we talked on the virtual call. And we had, again, another conversation as well. And that's how it does built into a very beautiful relationship. But again, you would never, if I don't speak and say, sir, I want you to mentor me, it's too vague. And just shows that you've not even built anything worthy of, like, do you understand, of drilling down on. So always be very specific in your ask. Connect with five of them and just show them a very, very solid question, well thought of. Show them that you've done the work and show them that you are stuck here. Trust me, most of them will actually want to help you. You'll be surprised at how easy these guys will want to help you. I do think that they were very difficult people until you start rubbing shoulders with them. Some of them are very down because sometimes they see themselves in you. They see themselves 5 years ago, so they can completely relate. But you yourself must have done the work on yourself, not just vague, random, weird questions. I want to work remotely. How can I do it? People question that would like be specific. What is it that you are? Do you understand? Be very specific. I am working here. I've built here. I've tried to apply here, but I'm stuck. What else can I do? You understand? Very specific. I can then help you like that. Don't just come randomly and say, I heard that you have been making money online. Rubbish question. And then execute. Work on a project, launch a project, showcase your expertise. Like I say, world class is not a title, it's a total experience. And let me end with this note. The best investment you'll ever make is in yourself. Get to it. So thank you very much. You can connect with me. It's been an honor and a great privilege. Thank you. I don't know if there are any questions. I'll be happy to answer some of them. Many people, many Deborahs or many Esthers are trying to go through the training of Deborah. And many Deborahs are trying to go through the training of it, and they are completely two different trainings. Esther had to go learn pageantry. Esther had to go be doing makeup and learn how to do fashion. Deborah did not care about that. Deborah was a woman of the secret place. She could pray the heavens down and see what God wants to say. But that's not the training of Esther. So I think you need to come to a place of your own individuality and know what you mean to God. Everybody needs God. So I would never tell you to leave the gathering of the saints. I'll never tell you to not have a devoted time to make your relationship right with God every time. But sometimes you will not be at every crusade because your destiny does not demand that. I face the same criticism in my church. But you know, you will not see me, sir. I'm not unapologetic about it. You will never see me. I was on a trip for my. I said, hey, but when you not have job, I said, yes. When we're not suffering together. Now that I'm paying tithe, all of us I will not. You understand? There's some things in church I don't sing one day people say, don't worry about it. You understand? So don't learn who you are and learn the requirement for your destiny and for your journey. Don't care. Do it with the way God will vindicate you is that in the future, and that's how God has vindicated. Number one, you'll be able to speak from a place of absolute wisdom and experience to situations and help people out. That's number one. You have to tell them, they are stuck in this career, this is what you should do. I've gone through this. And they will do it and to work for them. So that's where God vindicates you with wisdom. But also in resources. Where we're trying to gather, and just silently tell the pastor, don't worry, don't shout it. Okay. That's when your pastor will now realize that, leave him. Let him go for the boot camp. Sure, that's what I'm saying. So that's how it works. Is learn what is the requirement for your own journey. But again, trust me, I've tried it. There's a place where I prioritize the work above God. I paid for it. My mental stuff was just extremely down. I gave too much attention to work and left God, and then the work was not working well. It was crazy, man. It was a very terrible time. When people talk about mental health, I knew what mental health was back then. It wasn't a great time. So never, ever, ever, ever leave God behind. Because if you leave it, don't worry, the word will teach you. God knows how to bring us running back to Him. But don't let it get to that, because it's a painful experience. You don't need to go through it. But that you're not spending being in church Mondays, Wednesday, Friday. First, my opinion, my brother does not like to hear this. I tell him that sometimes the reason why your church is having meeting every holiday. Sometimes every single holiday that is, they have a retreat. It's because your church, your pastor is a full-time man of God. If he has business or his job, he will not have time for, it sounds harsh, but it's the truth. Because the man cannot be sitting there. You have to find something to do, and it is you that is going to just. So sometimes, because I tell people sometimes, public holiday actually for holiday, rest. But every holiday, they want to put retreat. Clinic on 48 hours, 100 hours with God. It is where. There will be this new AI model that will change your life. Now, you are not aware of it because you are not speaking in tongues. Anyway, let's stop it there before I start saying things. Do you get the stuff? It's like, know what is the requirement of God for your destiny, and let's focus on that. Leave the other people away. Don't be an Esther trying to be a Deborah. You understand? Focus on what God has asked you to do. Some of us, our job is to gather wisdom and build stuff for the kingdom. Build stuff and protect that territory. Because if you don't build stuff, the world will build stuff. You will post Christian content on it, then we remove it. Somebody has to be able to build an alternative that Christians can still use. So that's our own domain. And we understand it, and we are very spiritual about it. But it does not mean that you will see me on a deliverance service. I'm not being, let the people that need deliverance go for the deliverance service. I have been delivered. Amen. Okay, so that's my own response. And then the question about how do you should need somebody to help you on the journey. So this is how I would practically say. There are two ways. Let me tell you one way that. So I've had people in my life people that had the opportunity of working with, and I just try to do my best and put myself in the best possible light. And I've asked people who are great men and women who have offered to mentor me without me asking. And what did they see? They saw something in me that reminded them of themselves. I put all my effort, and they saw that this guy still needed guidance. So sometimes the best way you can do this is do great work and put it out there. Sometimes you just attract people who are seeing you make mistakes, and now they are they feel like this is what I can do. The reason why many people don't offer mentorship is that they don't see a clear way or a clear path to helping you. That's just the issue. So where you're coming from is very scary, because like there are some places like I don't have any strength. Like, you come and ask me and say relationship. How many relationships have I been in my life? I've only been in one major one, and I feel like I'm only going to be that one major. I'm going to get married. But somebody has gone through 6 or 7. Probably has better teeth to offer you. I cannot, because as God will help me, I did not choose a goat or someone will come and be correct. You understand? It was God just helped my life in that area. Do you understand? So I cannot help you. Say one person break your heart. I don't know what to tell you when they break your heart. They've not broken mine. Do you understand? So it's very hard to just come under when people talk, because it's a whole broad spectrum of their lives. So somebody has to be able to say one specific part. So for me, if you want to ask for mentorship, I don't even think you should go and ask that you be mentored. I think you should go and ask with a specific question. When I see the work that as soon as you have done some work, it's easy for me to help you. Than when you come all vague without any work. Some people have not put in the work. For me, I don't even like helping people, because it becomes a parasitic relationship. Do you understand? If you've not done any work, then you're not asking me for the resources to do the work that you need to do. But soon as you actually have taken a course, now you don't have enough money to finish paying for the course, then I know that I can come in and there and help. So for me, it's like be very exact on the help that you have. And once they answer or they give that, thank them, implement what they have done, and then come back to give them the update. Although even if they did not ask for the update, always go back to give them the update. That's number 2. Number 3 is how will I put this now? Always serve. If the people that currently will call my mentee are people who have volunteered to serve me, even when I did not put any demand on them. Your so-called person that you need guidance from is selling a course. Buy the course. In fact, buy for the premium version of that course. That course that is only meant for 10 people. Buy that 10 one. What will happen is that guy would never forget, because it's a selected, and it's going to give you more time, and then you can develop a relationship from there. So always find a way to serve or even buy from them and maintain that relationship. Do you understand? Always find a way to be very, very close. Volunteer, go beyond. The way I got my job, I told you, was that I completely volunteered myself to do the work. I didn't even know he was watching. Apparently, he was watching. And he became a mentor for him. That man drilled me. That was when I realized I was innately lazy. I did not know. I used to think I was hardworking. I was innately lazy. That man, when somebody, he drilled me. I remember we had a meeting till 2. And the wife was saying, Sean, you go and sleep. You say, well, Sean's not going to go and sleep. He has a presentation tomorrow morning. Sean's going to finish his presentation. By 2 in the night, I said, yes, sir. With tears in my eyes, yes, sir. And I continued. So I realized that, if you can yield yourself to even help them, they feel obligated to also help you. There's a lady, I don't like mentoring ladies. I realize that sometimes it's not mentorship they are looking for, they're looking for something else. So I don't like it. But there's this particular lady that find a way to work her way inside my life. And now there's no, what she did? I was doing a end of the year retreat with my people. We used to have end of the year, just to prepare for next year. She came, and I had a planning committee. But when my planning committee were tired at the end of the day, she just took the book and started sweeping the floor. Now, someone can ask me, how? No, please don't do it. We have people that are going to. No, sir, I'm happy to do it. Now she come ask me, if I'm not an evil person, how will I not answer? Do you understand? So there was no. That's how the woman all of a sudden now start coming to my office once every week. Now, you cannot send her away again. She's not part of the family. Always find a way to serve, just to enter that circle. Once you can enter it, so those are the 3 practical ways I think I can give you. It's like, number 1, be very, very specific. Number 2, be proactive and put yourself out there. let them be able to go and Google you and see that you are doing stuff. And number three, find a way to serve, find a way to build that initial connection, serve, give back to them. People like to be taken. This word is a very evil word. People take, and they'll still go out and badmouth you. So if you can find a way to serve them back, it makes a whole lot of difference. Trust me. So thank you very much.